Let's go to Brandon Webb, co-author of Benghazi, the definitive report, and Brandon, a former U.S. Navy SEAL, head sniper instructor, who's now editor-in-chief at sofrep.com, the #1 site on the internet for information related to the U.S. and Allied Special Ops community. And hello, Brandon. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. I do appreciate it. Okay, you tell me what you think that we are going to find out on Wednesday from these brave souls, these whistleblowers.
Well, I mean, I think we're gonna find out that we're looking at a potential cover-up from the top level of the State Department, and it really goes all the way to the top of the Undersecretary of Management, a guy named Patrick Kennedy. And when you look at who really runs ops and who's responsible for that security situation in Benghazi and Tripoli, the buck stops with Patrick Kennedy, and I think there's been a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of dodging of responsibility, and there's an important document called the Security Environment Threat List, and it's essentially a document that the State Department, or a procedure that the State Department uses to assess security vulnerabilities, and it stands for, they call it the SETL. And out of 264 facilities worldwide that the State Department has, 14 rank higher critical threat, and out of the 14, 9 and 10 are Benghazi and Tripoli. So this procedure is used to allocate security and resources and money, and the fact that this was never even discussed in the initial congressional hearings or even talked about in the internal accountability review board that the State Department did on themselves, it just really stinks to me.
So you're talking about the threat level that was established to be prominent at the Benghazi embassy, and that it wasn't addressed, and in fact how cries for enhanced security were turned down. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about, out of 264 facilities worldwide, the top 10 most dangerous facilities. Number 9, number 10 were Benghazi and Tripoli, and in an escalating threat situation, there was a reduction in security. So just gross negligence with where the security is concerned, and a lot of people don't realize Tripoli was evacuated as well when Benghazi's calling for help, and they're busy clearing out the embassy in Tripoli and consolidating on the CIA annex down there, because their security wasn't there.
All right, you talk about Patrick Kennedy. We only have about a minute left. You talk about Patrick Kennedy. Is he going to wind up being the fall guy if there's a fall guy, or does this go all the way to Hillary?
I think Hillary has some responsibility, but I don't want to call Patrick Kennedy a fall guy. He's responsible, and if you look at it in the military, if a commanding officer of a ship has a major incident or screw up, he's relieved of command. So I think the American people deserve some level of accountability and transparency, so we don't repeat the same.
Well, I didn't mean to imply that nothing should happen to him. I just meant that, how high does it go? You said the top, and the top is Hillary.
It is. Hillary has responsibility for sure, but when it comes down to running ops and who is delegated and responsible, it's Patrick Kennedy. But Hillary, make no mistake, she tried to quietly step out of the way, but it's not over for her by any means.
All right. Listen, Brandon, I appreciate it. Co-author of Benghazi, the definitive report. That's an ebook, and we'll check you out on Sofrep, SOFREP.